안녕하세요. Exchange Chan Megan
Joanne입니다.
Good.
안녕하세요. Exchange Chan 28번째 시간입니다. 저번에는 제가 두 번째라 그랬는데요. 그런 거보다 우리가 지금 계속 이어서 하니까 지금이 28번째가 더 맞는 것 같습니다. Hi, Megan.
Hi, Joanne.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Yeah?
So good.
So good.
In a very good, very clear autumn sky.
What's the phrase again in Korean for autumn sky?
Autumn sky.
Like the word.
가을 하늘.
가을?
가을 means autumn.
Okay, and
하늘 means sky.
Okay.
Okay.
It's stunning. I think coming from, summer with the heat and it being hazy feeling and looking and the pollution.
But
it's
changing.
So nice.
So nice.
I know. I adore it. It's I also like a little bite to the air. So
So cool.
very happy. See all the mountains.
Yeah,
so
all the
it's
mountains.
so nice.
So clear.
So
I love this kind of weather.
I mean, it's so weird because like even talking about this, like sometimes I go, it's small talk, but no, the weather. Why not be so happy about nature?
But you can feel that.
Yeah.
Now.
Oh, it's so great. I love it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I always have a question. I think I've said this before, but I've always questioned, do I like autumn? Because when I was a kid, I'm like, do I like it because my birthday is in autumn? Or no,
your birthday.
Yeah.
In October.
Yeah. So, but it's, I think it's a nice season. It's a nice transitional time, especially after such a hot summer.
Yeah.
It was so hot this year.
Right after that.
Yeah, no, thank
Finally.
you.
You were born.
Finally, she's here.
You're born. Congratulations.
Oh my God. Reborn. So today, what are we?
Today's topic is as a sequel.
Yes.
We will continue to talk about the motherhood, the future mothers.
Future mothers, all of it. Yeah.
So
great.
we already have some talked about the motherhood.
Yeah.
But we now have some other stories.
We have more stories.
More stories to talk.
More perspectives. And I think because you and I have such different experiences of motherhood from us as persons, like you being mother, me not being not mother in the traditional sense. If ever, I might not be, but I could be untraditionally, like not a non-traditional mother through my art or later in life, whatever. But also culturally, and generationally, that we have different experiences of our mothers. We both do have mothers, and so there's lots of different experiences here. So I think it's worth another episode for sure.
Yeah, that's right. So we are going to talk about the motherhood.
Yes.
And then
a bit deeper
deeper, and then some continuous story.
Yeah, see where it goes. So we have some more questions, yeah?
Yeah, so here is another question about the motherhood.
Yeah.
What do you think the role of a mother
is? What's the role of mother? Should we get a dictionary and say, hi, what is mother? But like, think of mother. I mean, I think, I can answer first if you want. But because I'm also curious for you, like when you thought of, okay, I'm going to be mother, what did that mean to you?
Mother, to be a mother.
Yeah.
Means, I didn't have any idea about to be a mother before I giving a birth. But after that, I realized that to be a mother is so serious.
You literally are in charge of a life.
Yeah.
And nurturing a life into a human.
That's right. Not to play around.
No, this thing could die.
reality.
Yeah.
And it's so serious. And then to all of the family members, it is very, very important. And then, you know, after being mother, I understand that I recognize that to be a mother means to give some chances or some opportunity to my children to have some kind of to express their individuality to full in a full mood. So to be a helper and give all my best efforts to them. So always busy with doing that kinds of things always. And then at the same time to be a helper to my husband.
Yeah, you know? it's a very big supporting role.
Yeah, that's right. Always a supporter.
Which is so wild. It's like a supporting role that also is the main character, if you think about it. Like, but it's a role that isn't always seen as a main character because, like you said, you and as you should, like, give your children opportunities to be beautiful individuals and the people they are. Did you ever feel like you wanted to give them opportunities you didn't have? Because I think that's a big thing a lot of mothers do desire is, okay, what did I not have and what can I give my child?
I think that, you know, it's some kind of a regretful thing from my own mother. And then I actually didn't feel that full love from her. It's a kind of regretful thing.
Okay.
And then even though maybe she think that I gave you all my effort, all my affection to you. But for me, I didn't feel that. And then I didn't express my thought or my opinion about this kind of matter to her before. But I felt always it's not enough. So kind of sorry.
I think we all have wounds of being a child. We all have childhood wounds, especially from whether it's mother, father, or absent of that, of any kind of parent, right? Because also, I mean, you have siblings as well. Maybe the amount of love your mother gave was good enough for some, but it wasn't for you. I have a similar thing with my mother where the things she desired to give me were not good for me. And like where you talked about, like, well, I want my child to be an individual. I didn't get that as a kid. So it was more of a, and this is, it's always a hard topic, I think, when we talk about our parents, or especially mothers, because in our world, mothers there's so much pressure.
Yeah, a lot of always.
It's all either you can never be a good mother, but there's always that pressure to be the perfect mother, and yet everything you do is bad. In so many ways, you can never be up to that standard of good mother. And also, just as a parent, your kids are gonna not like something you do, because you're a human. Like, you're an actual human who has wants and needs, and also just like
not perfect, you know.
No, and like, especially when you're young, having children. Oh my God! Like, did you even? Was your brain fully developed? You know what I mean? So I have a lot of love, even though I don't speak to my mother. I have a lot of love for her, and understanding that what she did, she did out of, those were the values she had. And so she did it out of love. Do I find the type of love she gave, especially when it came to religion and familial standards and ideologies, I don't appreciate them, and they aren't, and if not just don't appreciate them, they were harmful to me and my person, and kind of wanted me to be someone I wasn't. So hearing you say you want your kids to be individuals, and that was your thing, I didn't get that. I didn't feel that. I had to be in a certain way. But did I have a mother who would hug me and kiss me and, love on me? Yes. So sometimes the mother you're being to someone and your ideals don't suit your child. And that's heartbreaking, I think, in our world.
Don't suit my child.
Which is heartbreaking for you as mother to think.
Yeah, that's right.
Like, go ahead. No, like the idea of you as
But you know, in a way, in some way, to be a mother is very difficult.
Yeah, of course.
And then important role
Very
to all the
important.
family members. And so we always thinking about what is the best way to be a mother to all of our kids, and then including my spouse.
Yeah.
And then but you know, we don't know the best way. What is the best way? We don't know. And then I'm just trying to be the best, but we don't know the best way. So always we got some kind of a regretful feeling about that.
Yeah.
After that,
of course, and that's why, like, because you said, what's the role of mother, right? That was the question. I then come in with a perspective of, as someone who hasn't given birth, because I don't think you need to give birth to be mother, whether you adopt or, like in my case, I birthed my art. But there's, I think, something that has been hard. Like in your circumstance, like you have given birth and you have been mother and wife and daughter-in-law, and there are certain societal ideas of what that looks like, and also the pressure of you going, am I giving everything to these little humans? I think if we like take all of that out of it, what is the role of mother? And that's what I kind of look at within who I am and what I do. You joked earlier today while we were having lunch about, like, wow, you have all the skills to be mother. Like, well, what if that, like, what is that? That's sure, cooking, cleaning, warmth, compassion, empathy, all of that. Well, what if you can give that to people? Like, that's, I think, what mother is nurturing. It's a powerful creation. It's love, and from an empathy and warmth perspective. That's the role of mother, I think, is to nurture and to support, maybe guide, but it's like I can have motherly roles to and be in service to people through my art, through my friendships. I think that's very motherly. And I think that's really what mother is. You don't have to give birth or be a woman even to be mother.
Yeah, always, you know, as one of mothers. And,
I should say biological woman. Sorry.
Biological,
Yeah.
Okay. We are always, I mean, I.
Yeah.
Not we.
Yeah.
I.
Well, I mean, you could call me mother. Like, that'd be a compliment. But anyway, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm always, I think that I'm always doing my best to give some kind of support and then nurturing.
Yeah.
But sometimes I can feel that some reaction or response from my kids.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that they are satisfied.
Yeah.
Satisfied with that.
Yeah.
my handling or my giving. So I felt, I think that, what is this?
It can be heartbreaking because you put in all your effort
Of course.
to then not be appreciated.
And then whenever I felt some kind of dissatisfaction from my kids, I think about my mother's case because I felt always some kind of lack of love from my mother. So even though she felt that I did my best, I did all I had, I did give all I had, but I didn't feel that.
And I think that's harder when you're in the role of mother, because if you're getting into a friendship or a like a romantic partnership or a sexual partnership, in all of those, you have to be emotionally mature, which can take a while, and some people never become emotionally mature. My sister a few years ago goes, Megan, read this book. It's Our Parents. It's called Children of Emotionally Immature Parents. Because I think like emotional maturity wasn't always prioritized in my parents' generation or just in general. Emotional maturity hasn't, it's maybe starting to be like those of us are going, hey, I need to be emotionally mature. Because when you're raised by emotionally immature parents, which sounds a little bit like your mother too, like didn't know how to give certain love, it's damaging and it's hard. And there, I could really go into it. We don't have to right now. But Meaning, when you're in the role of mother, it's harder because like those other relationships, if you have the emotional maturity, are just like, okay, this is the type of friendship someone can give me. This is the type of romantic relationship someone can give me, and learning how that person loves and cares, which is different than how you love and care. But like in relationship, it's then noticing, hey, this is how I feel loved. Can you give that to me? No? Okay, bye. You can't really do that with kids. Like, you know, tell your kid, like, how can you love me, or how can I love you? They should be there, right? They should be in your home. They should be nurtured. And a lot of times kids can't, like you as a child couldn't voice that to your mother. Like, how you're loving me
because
doesn't
they
feel
were
good.
too young.
Well, also you're reliant. Like, you have to, and your brain doesn't know. So, I mean, there's a lot of developmental stuff there. So, and society pressures you into being a certain kind of mother. Everyone has an opinion about how you're being a mother, how you're being a woman, how you're being a mother. Everyone has an opinion.
Yeah, that's right.
I can feel that in you. But are you close with your children? Like, you talk to them?
Yeah, now.
Until now. Great.
Up until now. I thought, in my thought. I have a good relationship with my kids.
Good.
But I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because there can be, you know, which is healthy. Children shouldn't and don't have to tell their parents everything. I think boundaries are okay. But you're also right. You're also in Korean society. And I think even just in certain families in general, not everyone feels, like you said, you felt you couldn't tell your mother, like, hi, you're not loving me. You know, I need different love, Mom.
How dare you?
How dare you? You know, and certain families have that dynamic. And maybe that's in yours and you don't know. But I don't know, if for me, as someone who didn't, like, hearing you say that you want your kids to be themselves is actually, weirdly, it's healing for me to be like, oh, okay, a mother does care about that. Where, yeah, my mother, sure, she wanted me to do that if I fit in her box. And her box was be a nun.
Be a nun.
Pretty much, you know, very godly Christian. I had like 2 choices. And if you go out of those choices, that's bad and that's wrong. So yes, it was love if you fit in her rules. And so hearing you say that is really lovely that you gave that to your children. And I'm sure they do appreciate that.
And more often than not, you know, this in our society, Korean, Korean society, you know, most of the cases, you know, our kids don't tell. There's some kind of dissatisfaction or some misunderstanding to their parents. So it's not a common atmosphere. But you know, after grown-ups, they express their some dissatisfaction to their parents in some way.
Which is, I think, like in what ways? Like verbally or passive aggressively?
A little bit aggressively. A little bit, you know, in a selfish way,
or like a protest way.
I can express. I can say that.
Like, I have my own money, my own time. I don't need you, so I'm gonna like
it's
punish you.
Don't preach me.
Really. Okay.
Don't preach me anymore.
Like
this. And then, you know, when as a parent, we heard that kind of some protest. And then we feel some very, you know, some kind of a rebellion.
Oh yeah.
Some rebellion from them. But we can understand because, you know, I experienced that kinds of rebellion to my own parents.
It's a very normal part of our development, for sure.
So our parents also were also a human, not perfect human beings. So I can understand why they did
what they did.
Why they did like that. And then what they did to us. And then they tried to they're old things to us, but they were perfect. They were not perfect, and so they were lack of energy and lack of some understanding.
I mean, we can also
full understanding.
There's been war too in Korea. Like that's you know what I mean? Like in Korea there was war and unrest in a way that's also going to traumatize and make parenting hard. So you have to think about that too. And how that's passed on and that energy. I guess the thing I always think about is, we can, because I've made the choice to not speak to my mother, even though I have that love and understanding, like you're saying, like they tried their best, they did what they could. And it's that choice of, okay, can I then also be in relationship with them? If it's, because you're a human, there's that, or in my case right now, for now, it doesn't feel safe or welcome to be in relationship. And that's also okay. That doesn't mean I don't love my parents, but that's also okay. Yeah, it's okay. I've learned, thank you, first of all, because I think it's good to hold space for pain, but also it's an empowering choice for me. Of course, I wish things were different, but I've learned to be my own mother. So maybe that's why I'm so prepared to be mother. And whether I want to be or not.
You want to be a perfect mother.
No, because I don't think you can be a perfect mother. And I think, like I said, there are other ways to be mother than having and giving birth, right? And I think the best thing you can do as a human, but especially as a parent or as mother, is like you were saying, give what you can and do your best as a human, and then know that you're gonna fuck up, like you're gonna mess up, and but then also being open to being like, okay, I wasn't perfect, and if that harmed you, like let's have open conversation, warmth, dialogue, where what I did hurt you, okay, how can we love each other now? I think that's all you can do. We're humans. And it's better to just love each other and be open to knowing you made a mistake for them, or be like, okay, that's also your pain. Like you need to deal with that. Like I can't do that for you. So yeah.
So what you feel very sorrowful about some way from your parents means that some kind of a forceful thing from your parents, right?
Yeah, I think. It's really, like I said, opposite of what you said. You want your children to be individuals, and me knowing a little bit of what your children do, it's great. And it feels like that. With mine, it was very much, and even into my adulthood, and even still now, if I, in the most recent time I heard from them was like 2 months ago, and it still is that like kind of, I need to fit in their box, or it's still I'm the problem for being who I am and doing what I'm doing, and I'm the one who needs to heal. So you are just outstanding of the box. Yeah, and it's that choice of, can I be in relationship now with people who, even though there is love, like when I visit them, I don't know how much I want to talk about it right now, but I think it's important to acknowledge the pain. I'm not like holding on to it. I have healed a lot from it. And yeah, that's when things like holidays can be hard, or I don't have a mom I can call and be like, Mom, help. Or like, I'm sad today. I don't have that. And I've come to terms with that, and I'm okay with that now. I've learned to do that and be that for myself. So I don't know, it's a weird feeling, because like I know it's easier for me to be myself and pursue what I need to pursue away from family and without mother in my life. So you
feel some kind of connection to your family yet, but you
I have
feel
love.
But you feel some kind of some independence.
Well, independence, as I think all children should. I think codependence is not great. But I do think, because I grew up in a codependent house too, and it was very enmeshed and not good. I guess in as simple terms as I can say without like wanting to share too much, even though I feel like I've maybe overshared at this point, but it's the type of life I desire to live. I need to strengthen that before I feel I can be in relation or consider being in relationship with them right now. And sure, there's like mother wounds, father wounds within that. I guess there is sorrow to it because, I mean, what would it be like if your daughter wouldn't call you? You know, because I also think about my mom, like how sad is that this person she incubated for 9 months and then gave birth to and does enjoy my company, doesn't want to talk to you like that. So I felt a little guilty for that for so long of like, that's kind of sad. But right, sad. It's very sad, but I also know it's better for me right now and it's healthier for me. I'm better for it right now. And that's all I can do. But I still love them. I think you can be better off and healthier not talking to someone and still love them. I think that's okay. And that's what I feel toward my family. Yeah.
A little bit difficult.
It is difficult, but that's okay. I mean, all of us came out of some person. So there's going to be that mother wound regardless. So, yeah.
Okay. Shall we have some break to
should we have a
listen
little
to some great music?
Yeah. So today we have the song "Labor," the Cacophony by Paris Paloma.
All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant, just an appendage, lift to attend him so that he never lifts a finger. 24/7 baby machine, so he can live out his picket fence dreams. It's not an act of love if you make her, you make me do too much labor. Why are you hanging on so tight to the rope that I'm hanging from? Off this island, this was an escape plan. Carefully timed it, so let me go and dive into the waves below. Who turns the urges? Who fixes up the gables? Emotional torture from the head of your high table. Who fetches the water from the Rocky Mountain spring and walk back down again to feel your words and their sharp sting? And I'm getting fucking tired. The capillaries in my eyes are bursting. If our love died, would that be the worst thing? For somebody I thought was my savior, sure make me do a whole lot of labor. The kind of skin on my hands is cracking. If our love ends, would that be a bad thing? And the silence haunts of a chamber. You make me do too much labor. Apologies for my tongue, and never yours. Busy lapping from flowing cup and stabbing with your fork. I know you're a smart man, and weaponize the false incompetence. It's dominance under a guise. If we had a daughter, I'd watch and could not save her. The emotional torture from the head of your high table. She'd do what he taught her. She'd meet the same cruel fate. So now I've gotta run so I can undo this mistake. At least I gotta try. The capillaries in my eyes
can feel some kind of a weird feeling from this song. Some weird energy or weird power. So would you please a little bit more explanation of this song?
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call it weird. I think when we use weird, there's a negativity there. And I don't, and I think it shames our feeling. If it's weird because it's uncomfortable, that's okay. I think it's a powerful song and it's an intense song.
Intense song.
Yeah, I sometimes cry when I listen to it. So it's called Labor.
Labor. So the lyrics was ended with a lot of labor.
Like too much labor.
Too much labor.
It's, I mean, and I am saying all this at risk of... you know, there are going to be people who don't like us for talking about this. Yeah, I'm used to this within the artwork I do. So y'all, if you have an issue, come to me. Don't go to Joanne. I'm used to it, but it's also hard, and it can be dangerous to talk about stuff like this because it's critiquing patriarchy, and it's stating women's pain. So labor in the sense of, yes, going through child labor, but also the emotional labor and the unpaid, unrecognized, undervalued, invisible labor that mothers and women go through. So if I
invisible labor,
invisible,
a lot of.
I mean, and I don't know how comfortable you are talking about it, but like technically, housewife. Unless it's really praised and loved, it's invisible labor.
Of course.
And it's too bad because it's that, like I said, woman and or just rather mother as a supporting role. Unless it really is and should be a main character role, but it's been made invisible labor. And if like the lyrics, if I remember them correctly, like the refrain, so the chorus goes, all day, if I cry, just letting you know, I'm not going to apologize for it. All day, every day, therapist, mother, maid, nymph, then a virgin, nurse, then a servant. Live, just an appendage, lived to defend him, so that he never lifts a finger.
That's exactly where I am.
Yeah, 24/7 baby machine. So
baby
he
machine.
can live out his picket fence dream. That's like an American phrase a lot of like white picket fence, perfect lawn. So his picket fence dream. This part I find so powerful is it's not an act of love. If you make her, you make me do too much labor. So that's the refrain. And the reason why I find that last part so powerful is a lot of times patriarchy and even like women, I think, to survive, we've been like, well, it's loving, you know, you're being taken care of. And so we've made it like, it's a good thing to do this and be in service and all of that. And like motherhood,
good thing.
It's so good. But the thing is it's not an act of love if you make her. And in a lot of cases, that has been women's and our only choice is to be mother. And there's that societal pressure to be mother, and you have to give birth. And that's your only valid way of being mother, but also in service to the world. So it's a really powerful song. I like I said, cry sometimes listening to it because, like you said, wow, that's very much my experience. And this version of the song in particular is the cacophony, meaning it's other people's voices, other women's voices, to show there's too much labor.
So you feel some kind of very much, empathy to this song.
Empathy, but also like, that's my experience too.
Yeah. So realistic.
So realistic. I mean, it's a reason I haven't gotten married and haven't wanted to be biological mother right now, if ever. And it's the reason that I make the art I make. And I think it's a little bit of a protest to live like this because even just my life as a woman, I am being cautious of using the word woman because I am a cisgendered woman. I think there are multiple genders. So I'm because I think a lot of this labor comes from the idea that there are only two genders, and if you are born with in a female sex, therefore you need to give birth and be mother and put in all this labor. Because I mean, even having the tendency for empathy and for compassion and warmth and love and the beautiful community that women find, I mean, has historically there's been a lot of more pressure to be that motherly, beautiful thing and support a man. Even in just like, I don't always seek male friendships now because there's too much emotional labor I've had to put in. And also usually they want to sleep with me and I don't want to sleep with them. You know? So and it's a reason, like with my brothers even. My sister and I had more pressure on us. So yeah, I think it's a powerful song, and it's a reason why I only wanted to pick this song for today.
Oh, great.
Because I think it's important.
I totally agree with this kind of lyrics.
Yeah. It gives voice to that, I think, many people who have been voiceless or silenced. And by picking the cacophony version of this song, brings people together. But it's true. Like, I think...
Yeah, it's true.
And some of us have had easier times, but that... It's been easier in some ways, but like, why is it... Oh, I've had it easy because my husband doesn't beat me. You know, or I've had it easy because I wasn't forced to do... like have 4 kids, you know, I've only had to have 3, you know, like, because also how many times because I've thought about this at times where it would have been easier at times to get married and to have a kid, because like that would give me family when I've chosen to be outside of my biological family. But I want to challenge that. Like, why do I have to have family through birthing and having a husband? Like, why can't I find that elsewhere? So labor. Yeah.
Oh,
it's a powerful song.
I think that that could be one of the reasons that, you know, these days, especially in Korea, the population drops so fast.
Yeah.
And then a lot of young generations, they deny or disagree to get married. To get married so early or in a proper age. So that could be one of the reason. A lot of labor. I
think so, especially for women, female presenting people. Also that queer marriage isn't a thing here. Like, then queer people can't get married. Also that like there aren't, I mean, why is it so bad to, especially as a woman or a queer presenting person, like prioritize the things you want to do, and that you don't change
of the in the term of the priority. The young generation, they do not have some kind of priority to that birth.
Well, also, I mean, think about when we say it's too much labor, that's heavy to constantly do this silent labor. And even if it's just like I've shed friendships because I've taken on the majority of emotional labor, especially from a man who doesn't have the empathy or isn't willing to like look at his internalized, his misogyny, his patriarchy and aspects of sexism toward me even, that I'm like, why would I want to put up with that emotional labor, especially if that's not okay. And I think a lot of women especially, like, why I think we're learning, we're educated, we're smart, we have a lot going for us, we can have our own bank accounts, you know. Why do I need a man if he's just going to give me all this extra labor? And that's not everyone, because I mean, and I say that also last night I had some tears because I'm like, I have so much love to give, I want to love. So it's heartbreaking. It's not like there I go back and forth. There are beautiful moments of like, I'm independent, I have this freedom, like I have so much going, like so much beauty that I get to share with my art and life. also want to share that with friends, with lovers, like, and sometimes that doesn't always feel accessible because of not a lot of men, especially, or anyone in that have internalized this patriarchy, that it's hard to be in relationship with that for me personally.
So these days, especially, from the young people, we can easily find out that, a lot of couples, they are living together without marriage.
Yeah.
And then, they share houseworks between men and women.
Yeah.
And then they joyfully, do the housework.
Yeah.
And then from a little bit view from the aged guys, it is so jealousy.
Why?
So jealousy. So I want to talk to my husband.
Yeah.
Some kind of a beautiful scene of the young generations. How do you think of that?
What do you think? I mean, that could be a beautiful revival of your relationship with your husband. Of like, hi, let's be young people and do the dishes. I mean, I've been lucky. Well, maybe not lucky. Like I have standards, and so the type of men I've been in relationship with I normally don't engage in relationship. I don't like go far enough to have relationship. It's been very few people I've been in relationship with. I have been like, I've had my standards, and the people that I've found have done housework. So there is that, and I've been but that sounds so silly. Like, why am I lucky to find a man who would do housework? Right? Ew. It should just be normal. Normal, but it's also not, sadly. I just also, don't you want a clean house? Like, do you want your house nice and clean? Also, I'm also busy. Like, if you want to be in relationship with me, I need to be doing my art and like spreading creation and beauty in the world in that way. And it would be nice to be supported in that, like emotionally, creatively, financially, like, not like, fully provide for me. Like, I can do that for myself. But also, why not? Like, this beautiful partnership and equal exchange that I think so many people have not been. They haven't had that.
But one of the old generation, we usually don't have our own jobs, or not independent. In the side of the economical side. And so after coming home from the hard work, I cannot ask my husband to do something, housework, and then I understand he's so,
of course,
so felt so fatigue, and then he's tired, so tired, feel tired, so I cannot ask him. Then I want to give some time to rest, and then that means that I myself do all the things, all my houseworks by myself. And then it was so harsh, so hard time. Always busy, hectic days.
Of course. I mean, I grew up with a mom who also stayed home and did the housework and ran us around, because in the States you have to have a car. So she was always running us around doing sports and everything. And but she did have a part-time job at times too, because we didn't my dad's money or his job didn't fully provide at times. So okay, but I grew up fortunately enough, but anyway, you sharing that, I think the difference is like if you went and you cleaned a house, you're getting paid, right? Like someone else's house, you're getting paid.
Of course, I have to be paid.
But the thing is, then why don't women get appreciated? And I'm please know that I am saying the binary for ease, because that's what I think a lot of these ideologies, they view a binary, which I don't believe in, but I'm going to speak in it just because that's this mentality. But I think that's what when we're talking about mothers today and we're talking about this labor, that's the invisibility of it, where if you were doing this for anyone else, you would be paid and there would be gratitude and appreciation for what you're doing. But there are so many instances where, like you were saying, young people maybe don't want to be in traditional marriages because then like feeling thanked and appreciated for, because you're home all day with your kids and yeah, maybe they went to school, but they're going to look to mom more often than not. Like if you're in a heterosexual marriage with children, and they're going to look to mom, and they're going to look to like, and you've been cleaning and on your feet all day, but you're not getting paid for it. And that's the challenge I like to bring in, because and we need to bring in because that's labor. That's work.
Labor. Exactly, labor. Have to be paid.
Yeah.
But I think, from very, traditional view, husbands always breadwinners. Yeah. And then, housewives have to do something for their family members. Yeah. And then, this kind of housework kind be the job for all the housewives to do for their families. So we think that it's not a kind of sacrifice. It's just our work to do. Yeah. And then, but sometimes these days, young generations era, they always count for some things. In a money.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So from that view, the housework has to be paid by money. Yeah. But so when we talk about the housework as money, it's not just not so how can I say so. Sacred work. It's a kind of
kicking things.
It's a kind of a very normal work, and then official work, and then it's a kind of not so priceless work. Yeah, well, not so priceless work. So I mean that it's a kind of very light work.
Well, is it though? Is it like? So, and this is just the question that, like, I know we've gotten off of our questions, but I think this is also important to talk about, is I think the question a lot of us are raising, whether we know we're raising it or not, is, okay, yes, women traditionally did the housework, and yeah, of course, like that, and it's what you should do, and we see it as there's a sacredness to it, yes, but like, that's because the only option for women historically was to be married and to do that. Also, like if you have anyone move into a house, housework has to be done. Like send your boy off to university and like say he's away in the States. Like he has to take care of his house. Like you got to do your laundry, unless you got to eat. You got to hopefully you're at least cleaning a little bit. Like they're a young adult man and in school, so maybe you don't do it all the time, but. Like it's work that just has to be done, or to your standard, but that it's only been put on women historically, and that even in relationships today, it's still because women, we've been conditioned to do it and be good at it. I've noticed my standard of clean is very different from most people's, and if you're good at it, some people will say, "Well, you're just good at it, so you should be the one doing it." It's like, no, you live in this house too, like. I mean, and this is coming from someone, I love loving people through doing things for them. Like I will do someone's laundry just because I want to show I love them. And like, so I get what you mean by it is sacred work to an extent of showing someone, hey, I want to support you in this way and love you in this way. Great. But is that work appreciated? And is it seen equally as I am just as valuable as you going to work and making money? Like that's I think that's the question and the challenge of, no, I am just as valuable for doing this. It literally supports you to be living your life.
And in some ways, you're saying is just a little bit same as mine.
Yeah.
And then I mean that, don't get me wrong, I don't mean that that kinds of housework is not valuable, not valueless things. It is so important for all of us. And then, but our housework should be appreciated.
Yeah, but it isn't normally.
Yeah, normally.
Oftentimes that's not the case.
So appreciate it. And then, our society has to understand and has to recognize that, how important that kinds of work is.
Yeah. Also, like we're talking about mother, we're talking about emotional labor there too. And women, I think more often than not, have a built-in sense of empathy that men don't have. Maybe that's controversial to say, I don't care. But a lot of times men have to learn empathy, and that's a little pathetic, if I'm honest. But that's also labor, is like teaching a man to behave. Gross.
Teaching.
A man, like, that's what it feels like. Like, I'm not your mother. Like,
just a partner.
Yeah, I'm a partner. I'm lovely. I'm sexy. I'm a good time. Like, treat me as such.
I also have some ability to
Exactly.
do something else.
Exactly. Like, I am amazing, right? And that's all it is. And that seems so radical. I find so sad in our world, just to say, like, hi, women have so much value and we're powerful, creative, amazing beings.
Yes, we are.
Right? And people who don't live in the binary just as much. Like, it's just this beauty that hasn't been valued in the world, and that's just shite. And that's, we said we were talking about mothers. I think it goes back to that. So
From that way, the women's are so great.
I know.
We are doing a lot of roles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many hats that we wear.
Yeah, that's right. And then, we are so great.
Yeah.
Creator.
It's that creative feeling that's just, I think, yes, we can talk about anyone who has a menstrual cycle, because like I said, I don't subscribe to the binary. I don't think there are just men and women. And so different genders can have menstrual cycles, which is a powerful connection. I think just the experience of woman, of queerness, and challenging those things is a really special, powerful, creative force in the world that people are scared of. And that's anyone who, I think I'm a really good example of that as someone who is.
So people are scared of that.
I think they're very scared of it sometimes, or jealous of it.
Because the manpower is just the main power in this world. So then, they are just scary about losing their power.
Losing power, but also I think like someone who has pain built into them, who knows the cycles of your body, who is in touch with creation. But our conversation kind of went in a different direction than we originally intended, right? So I feel like there's more to talk about, whether it's next time or another time. Yeah, but this time we do have to get going.
Okay, let's have another time. And then can I have some time for...
Can you have time? Of course you can have time. Go for it.
Okay,
Whatever you need.
네, 여러분은 지금 91.3MHz 서대문 공동체 FM 라디오의 Exchange 채널을 듣고 계십니다. 이는 서대문 공동체 라디오 플러그인에 의해 만들어지고 있습니다. 저희는 특히 다문화 가정 및 서대문 지역에 거주하는 외국인들에게 도움을 드리고자 만들어진 프로그램으로서 여러분도 다양한 얘기로 참여하실 수 있습니다. 저희 메일 주소 알려드릴게요. exchange1-.neighbor
at Naver. Maybe it's fine. No one's emailing us. Just keep going.
I will do it again.
Okay.
Exchange one dash at naver.com입니다. 그리고 광고 하나 더 하겠습니다. 서대문 지역에 사시는 외국인으로서 한국의 음식이나 언어 교환을 원하시는 분들이 계시면 참여하실 수 있는 조그만 단체 알려드릴게요. K준마라고 한국인 아줌마들의 모임인데요. 영어 연습을 하고 있는 단체인데 구성원 분들이 서대문 지역에 오래 살고 계신 아줌마 분들이어서 음식에 대해서는 물론이고 서대문 지역에 대해서도 빠삭하신 분들이세요. 그래서 한국어를 정규적으로 연습하고 싶으시거나 여기서 사는 여러 정보들을 듣고 싶으실 때 도움을 드릴 수 있는 그룹입니다. 저희에게 연락 주시면 연결시켜 드립니다. 관심과 참여 부탁드리겠습니다.
Thank you so much. Perfect.
Welcome.
Yeah.
My pleasure.
So we can, like I said, continue this another time. And our conversation went sideways.
Are welcome.
But are you okay with where our conversation went?
I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Great. Well, then, I guess for now we will say goodbye.
Say goodbye.
And see you next time.
Okay. Say
See you.
goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.